huge to get a win any way we can get it. Very, very frustrating to throw that interception. Poor read, and then when you're late to the flat, then the ball's left inside when you're late, and it was then it compounds, and then obviously the place on the field, he's able to take it back for a touchdown. So very disappointing play by me. And then just got to give a lot of credit to our defense for the way that they kept us in the game, made plays, scored a touchdown, created pressure. Harrison Smith was phenomenal, pressuring. Obviously Bryce is very good, when there is a free runner of making a miss, and Harrison was able to hold on and bring him to the ground a couple times. It's not an easy play to make. We made some explosive plays here and there. Got to be sustaining drives more. Didn't stay on the field enough. I feel like starting fast is a point of emphasis now, and I felt like we did start fast. I felt like we got down to the 1 yard line or whatever it was inside the 5, and then thought we scored, and then had a couple penalties, and then obviously the interception. So it was good to see us move the football in that opening drive, but can't have it end the way it did. They're glad to win, and then there's obviously a lot that you look back and say, man, I got to be better, and we got to be better, and that's kind of my thoughts. So I can take any questions you have.
How does Kevin address a play like that? Does he come up to you right away? Does he save it for later? How do you process?
Yeah, Kevin's always been great with, when the negative plays happen, when the mistakes happen. He's always been great with, staying positive and, understanding, it's a hard position, stuff's going to happen. So he was great. Chris O'Hara was great. Nick Mullins was great. I know exactly what happened. There was really no mystery. As I'm sprinting to try to go tackle him, I'm thinking, I can tell you right now what happened. It just, you hate the outcome. You hate how it played out.
How much was the second one? You're waiting for Jordan, kind of on the wheel.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the safety was open. I guess take us through the second one if you can.
Yeah, I was just looking at the corner, and once the corner vacated, I was trying to put it out to Jordan, and my arm got hit. And just, it's hard to know when your arm's going to get hit, or if it does get hit, where it's going to go. So that was one more that I don't walk off the field with the same level of disappointment or frustration, being mad at myself on that one as I do on the first one, where you're like, hey, there's nobody. I think it's a touchdown to KJ if I'm faster. I think it's a touchdown to TJ if I let the safety jump the flat. I saw the safety put hands on TJ, so I'm thinking, all right, I get to the flat. Well, I'm late to the flat now, so the safety can cover both. If I just let him make his decision, work off him, I think we have a touchdown to one of those two. I just got to be quicker to the flat or wait a tick for TJ.
How big was that drive? You're up 14-13 after you get a scoop and score, stop them, and it gives you some comfortability a little bit, 8-point lead.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, that was big for our defense to get us the momentum back as Carolina was driving, to then turn into 7 points for us, and then we were able to go down, and hit the go ball to Justin. I mean, those were big drives, big plays, and most of the time, in this league, the games tend to come down to a few plays you can point to that you say those were weighty downs and had a big impact on the outcome.
I remember you talked in the week 1 interception, kind of moving from TJ to KJ
Yeah.
in the progression.
Yeah.
What is the fine line there of getting the timing right, of going through your progressions in a way that works?
I mean, it's every play. Every single play, you're basically saying yes, no to every time you go through progression. So, you're not going to bat 1,000. You'd love to bat 1,000. You kind of try to hold yourself to that standard. But, we've obviously paid the price here on on a couple really, one in week 1 and then this week. And then there's others where you didn't pull the trigger and we're coming to the sideline. It's like, hey, you gotta take that, so it goes both ways too. But that one, really bothered me, frustrated me, and that's where you have to keep playing, and you have to just keep going, and we were able to do that today.
I mean, it's obviously your job to go after the guy when he's coming down the field, but was some of the way you're chasing after him just motivated by frustration there?
Yeah, I mean, you always say, what's important now? Well, I just threw an interception. He's probably takes back for a touchdown, so what's important now? Don't let him do that. So also you have pride, right? You don't want to be slow. So it's like set the right angle, try to make him cut back to maybe somebody else. he had a bit of a cavalry leading him, but I thought, maybe I can go low and, try to get him out of bounds or whatever. But obviously he made a good play, and it was very disappointing.
Historically, one team's only made it out of an 0-4 hole. You avoid that by winning today. How big was that, and how much does that help your salvage the season, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, regardless, you got to play your schedule and just stay the course. But certainly, at some point, you got to start stacking up wins, and so it was every one of them is important. And I go back to last year, we created some breathing room with the way we were, 10-2 or whatever we were. You still didn't feel like you had created breathing room. You feel like, we got to lock up this division. We're running out of weeks. So I don't know that your record ever can be good enough where you feel like you're doing what you need to be doing. And I think sometimes the opposite is also true, where no matter how many losses you have, there's still a lot to play for, and you can fight your way back. So we're somewhere in the middle, and we got to find ways to get wins whenever we can.
On the longer touchdown to Justin,
Yeah.
you're not snapping that unless they jump. Is that basically?
Yeah, they flinched there, and Austin snapped it, and so there's also, it wasn't a huge flinch, so you're also kind of trying to make sure that we are getting the flags. You don't want to put the ball in harm's way, but Justin was one-on-one, and again, you go back and you evaluate, like, I threw a driven ball, but you're saying, should I put more air on it? Should I drive it? Like, these are all the things you're going to go back and watch the tape and talk about. But obviously, Justin has to make a play for us there. He has to come down with it. It's, tight coverage. And then, it becomes a big play in the game, to go from basically, no snap to 6 points.
Have you pulled off many of those on the road?
Well, we did against Philly, and Fletcher Cox jumped, and we threw it to Justin. We just it was a free play, and it just was thrown a little far. And then last week Brandon Staley took a timeout. We were doing it, so it's situational. Situational management is a big deal. They come up in every game, and it's hard. It's hard to stay on top of all these situations, but it's what we got to do.
What did you see out of your teammates on defense after the deficit was created and coming out in the third quarter, and the way they were able to get a ball to bounce in their direction?
Yeah, I mean, I think they just stayed the course and kept playing, and that's what you have to believe is, like, you don't know what's going to happen, and we've lived that, right, in this season. You just don't know what the next play is going to bring, so stay the course and stay ultra focused and believe someone's going to make a play, and until it says 0, I believe there's still enough time.
Have you felt a difference with the run game the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, it's been really good. I think it's been encouraging, the way we run the football. Because it's one thing to have an explosive run here or there, but if you're getting negative runs or 0-yard runs, it's not sustainable. And I think what we've had is the 5-yard runs, the 6-yard runs, the 10-yard runs, and then been able to make that repeatable. And when you can do that, that's where I think you really can impact the game and lean on it. And Kevin, you got to give him a lot of credit for, really leaning on the run game. And then I got to give a lot of credit to, our scheme and the guys blocking and Alex and Cam and people running, because I think for us to dig out of this hole, as you were talking about, our ability to run the football the last 2 weeks, I think it's really encouraging.
Cam was talking about getting the confidence from you guys, showing what he can do game-wise.
Yeah.
How about that today for him?
He was great. He was hilarious. He's in the locker room, like, talking to himself, like, come on, Cam, you got this. And he was really good for morale. And then he gets in the game. I had never played with him, right? He's just been practice. So he's in the huddle, and he's doing the same thing. Like, I call a run. He's like, you got this, Cam. And it was awesome. I was like, this guy's really good for morale. And then we called a pass, and I thought he did it again. He's like, we got this. Like, let's. So anyways, I really appreciate his morale. Sometimes you're in the fight, and it's a heavy, weighty deal. And when you get, when Cam was in there, it was like, I like this guy. This guy's bringing good energy to our huddle and to the line of scrimmage, so I can roll with this. So that was awesome. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.